for staying with us. You're still watching Breakfast in Bed. So, we're talking about Nollywood and tradition. And our guest, Olusegun Kosoko, is a movie producer. And you recently produced the movie King Kosoko. Yeah. I see that as an epic movie. But first, before we get into all of that, do you think Nollywood has done enough in preserving our culture and tradition?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that our culture and tradition have been told via movies for decades, from the days of the Abatungun days and the likes, and to the Ojuladipos, up until now on the Afolions and the likes. You know, there are a lot of them, but have we told enough of it? I don't think, that's why I said no. Because our culture and tradition have been preserved in the theaters, in movies, as far back as the early 60s, 1960s and thereabout. I didn't think earlier, but then it wasn't as big as what we have now. But do we have a lot of stories to still tell to shape our culture, history as well, and tradition? Yes. There is still more to be done, and which is why we ventured into, myself and Ayajayi, my co-executive producer and producer, into the movie that we did, King Kosoko, The Battle for Lagos.
So King Kosoko, why King Kosoko? Is it because you have the surname Kosoko? Are you trying to preserve heritage?
One. Two, but it's also telling stories and making history correct in the way it can be. I think one of the reasons why we decided to do this was if you go on the internet and you search King Kosoko or Bakosoko or whatever, you will see different stories. Somebody said this, somebody said that. But what is the true story? And that's how we preserve culture. Because most of our history are preserved orally. 10th generation told, 9th generation told, 7th generation, and it's been distorted over time. But what is the true story? So in the best way we can, from the stories we've heard, from what we've seen in history, in libraries, from British archives down to Nigeria, to the family, and all that, we were able to put together a movie. Epic, feature film, you could call it, drama, you could call it, historical, yes. And we put it in just not any movie, but a cinematic movie that people will like and people will love to watch.
So why do you think stories from the past still matters to audience today, especially Gen Zs?
So we can avoid a Aitoni situation. So many of our children of today and the young people of today, young adults into young teens, really don't know our stories. They know Superman from 1 to 3 into, they could tell you all the stories, but tell them to talk about Moyeni or Efunye,
right.
Or even if you go to the north or to the west, to the east, they know nothing. Right. So it's very shocking that these stories are there, and nothing has been told about them. And one of the restrictions also I might mention is the cost and value to make a good movie.
Oh, I was going to talk about that, yes.
It is enormous.
I was going to say something, right, based off of what you said, that like the average new generation child doesn't know about like the history and the people that mattered, right? I don't know how to put this, but then there's a way history has been shaped that people that like maybe like the gods of the land or like people that mattered, they're made to seem like this isn't someone you should be hearing about based off of religious beliefs.
True.
How do you think Nollywood is able to shape that ideology? Because personally, I've done my research and I've come to realize that most of these people are not as bad or archaic as
Yeah, true. Good question there. And the reason why I said, and adding to what you said about how Nollywood shapes stories, if you ask I'm trying to merge the two together. If you ask a traditionalist, like they call it now, a Isheshe person, what they see in Nollywood, if it is true, they will tell you it is not. That is where the scare factor comes in, and that's why those stories died, because there was a period in time that the true African tradition stories was not told the way it is. Things have started changing. Thank God for the internet. People and the export of our tradition, seeing even the white man trying to be to imbibe our tradition. It's shaped so many things that a lot of the Nollywood veterans and Nollywood people are doing now. But as you said, it scared people away, and those stories were just left there. Funding is another factor to do a good movie. It takes, for example, King Kosoko, we shot it last year. We did the post-production from end of last year to this year. It's a lot of time. But your normal Nollywood YouTube movie can start on Monday and it's out next week Monday. You will not be able to preserve tradition that way. But in doing a very good movie, you need all the hands on deck. And you need the true story. You need someone willing to give you that story or tell you the truth as close as possible that you can then put into a movie, or you screenplay it into a movie. At the same time, not losing all the effects, not losing the storyline, not losing the true history and the tradition that needs to be passed to the generation yet to come. A lot of people are now trying to preserve our tradition and our history, not only through movies, but through storytelling. If you go to Terra Culture, there are a lot of stage plays that they do. There are a lot, National Theatre now is back, so a lot of things are coming. But it's now, how do we encourage that young person to go to watch those things?
So, beyond entertainment, right? Speaking on the impacts, beyond entertainment, so how do you think historical films can influence how Nigerians understand and appreciate their cultural identity?
Yeah, so that is simple, because when you see these things, when you read and you get to understand, then you know who you are. It tells you, for example, it tells you your name. You understand it. If I don't want to give any advice to Lateef Adedimeji is doing a film, or has shot a film about the war in Kiriji. It's a known fact, but people from that area never knew that war existed. It was a civilian war that lasted 16 years. But people don't know them. If you know that you're from this part of and you know why you don't do this, this is where it stemmed from. You'll be able to understand who you are.
And you can relate.
You can relate with
to
it.
your source.
You can relate to yourself. A lot of Kosoko don't know who Oba Kosoko was. Nobody knew he fought the British, won the British in a war, just because he wanted to preserve Lagos.
And
nobody knew that. So these things like that we've tried to portray in the movie. And when one other thing that people don't know is Lagos was a wealthy place. If not for that passage or the bombardment of Lagos by the British in 1851, we would have been so sovereign over ourselves. We would have been sufficient of ourselves. But that was the way the British came after the bombardment of Lagos and penetrated what we call Nigeria today.
I want to talk about King Kosoko. So my thing about such epic traditional movies, and which I've seen over the time in Nigeria, is location. You know, you watch these movies and you're expecting to see an 1851, 1859 set, but you're seeing a 1960 something set. And I'm also particular about language, because the language that was used in 1850s is not the same language that was used in 1970. But in your production of King Kosoko, how are you able to manage language and also location?
Okay, so I think a few things I would say. That was it was a big fact in consideration of when we were casting the actors and when we were to decide who was going to direct the movie. So we got an Adebayo Tijani to direct the movie. We got the likes of Femi Adebayo, Jide Kosoko, Shola Kosoko, you know, all those great actors to be in the movie because they understand this thing. Now, and Adebayo Tijani understands that. So we went back in time in what the buildings looked like. So we had creative directors, we had set designers that went back in time and they did presentations. I remember I was on set in location one day and they were correcting one of the veteran actors. In those days, they don't say Mo. And as a Lagosian, you don't say Mo, it's me.
Me, yeah.
Okay.
So, and one of the younger, seemingly younger, is not young, but he's been in the industry at least over 2 decades, was say, Mokole Mason now, Mile Mason. So it was something that, obviously, in terms of the artifacts, we've lost all those. So we had to go closely to what we could get. We had to go closely to what we could get. So we went on Recce, went to look for the places that we could use that would speak 1851, or not 1851, 1845 first, even before when Kosoko was born in the 1700s. And we went into what could we use, and we went into different locations, from Ekpe to Jebu to different places, to find what was the closest, or what would be the closest that we could recreate for that period of time. Very difficult, I must say, but we have to make do with what we have. And that's why the likes of Kunya Folanyo, Ibrahim Chata are building those villages.
Yes.
Okay.
But then that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Can imagine.
King Kosoko, big King Kosoko. Sorry, no. How and what does it represent in the
What should we
history
expect?
of Lagos, especially? Then what should we be expecting?
Okay, King Kosoko was the Oba of Lagos 1845 to 1851. He was not letting the cat out of the bag, but this is history that is available on Wikipedia or anywhere on the internet. But there was a lot of betrayal before he became king. So you have the Akitoyes, you have the Oluwoles, you have the Adeles, and all those type of kings before King Kosoko, even though he was supposed to be king before then. So him as a person was first patient because he was betrayed over time. But when time came, he had to stand his ground and say, "This is my rightful place. My father died decades ago. I was supposed to be next." So there's a lot of story there. So that's the person he was. But he was someone that fought for his people. He was someone that was loved by his people. At some point in his life, when he was fighting the British, he had over 5,000 followers, military men. With the place we know as Oshodi today.
Yes.
Was the person who was Kosoko's military general. There's a place in Lagos called Agarawu, who was Kosoko's right hand man. So all those type of people actually shaped and supported his him getting on the throne and fighting for Lagos. So it was someone that loved his people and wanted to save Lagos for his people.
So I'm just going to call you this. So we're going to see all of this in the movie. So
Yeah.
when is this movie showing? When should we expect to watch it? Where are we going to watch it? When is it coming out?
Movie will be premiering tomorrow, 23rd.
Okay.
So it's going to be premiered at the IMAX Lekki tomorrow. You will get invite. So.
Okay, so it's going to show. When will they
And
start
then
showing in
from
cinemas?
28th of August, it will be shown in all cinemas in Nigeria.
Okay, very interesting. So, so this is a way of preserving all the Gen Zs and millennials that want to know what Lagos was then. I'm interested because I hear a lot of King Kosoko. So I really want to know, who was this King Kosoko? What did he go about doing?
Curious.
Yeah, I'm so curious.
I'm so
So I really want to watch it too. Like I said, it will be in cinemas from August 28th, so you can watch out for it. And all Gen Zs or parents can take their children to schools on holidays to learn more about the culture and tradition. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. All the best. And well done for what you do. It's great bringing tradition back to life. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So ladies, we need to leave.
Well, thank you so much for sticking with us from the beginning till now. My name is Chantel. Don't be an Abiru. Watch King Kosoko. Thank you.
And I remain Elizabeth Shola, the one and only. Don't be an Agberu and try not to be the Gen Zs to Tonya Lumelu. See you guys next week.
Many thanks for watching. My name is Bababumi Agbaby, and I would also drop with this last saying that emotional intelligence is very important.
Thank you.
If you cannot call someone who is as old as your uncle, elder brother you can't call your elder brothers or uncles by name. They don't call other people that are as old as them by names.
Right.
It's very, very important. Let's remember to withhold and hold our tradition very, very, very close to our hearts. Thanks for watching. My name is Bababumi Agbaby. Bye bye.
Hi.
Yeah.